So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. So, look, we're going to get straight into it. So, with regards to the Kiely Rodni case, what are two pieces of information that are interesting but perhaps don't mean anything? First of all, we've got Nevada County. They are taking over or have taken over Kiely's case and will be dealing with it. Placer reached out to me directly after I sort of reached out to them and said, look, they're dealing with it. It's their jurisdiction. Now, I have to wonder why Nevada did not deal with the initial search and investigation if indeed this was their jurisdiction in the first place. I always thought that, this jurisdiction thing was quite, hammered down. We don't go into the territories we're not allowed. People are quite, territorial over it. But anyway, I digress. Nevada, they will be dealing with it, and they will be updating as and when updates are available. Now, we also see Placer Sheriff has reached out to Ryan Upchurch. He or she commented on one of Ryan's posts on Instagram saying check your DMs. Now, it might be that they just want an autograph. It might be that they're going to tell Ryan that they think he's batshit crazy. It might be that they want to speak to him about some of the things that he has indeed uncovered. And look, only Ryan can tell us what that was about if Ryan chooses to do so. But, I'm a bit nosy and I saw it and thought I'd share it because I'm a sharing kind of guy. But now, with regards to the Kiely Rodni case, some things are quite difficult to speak about, and as we've seen with other cases, such as the Michael Vaughan case, some people are kind of off limits and people tend to get pissy when you start speaking about them. But sadly, just because some people get pissy about it, sometimes they've put themselves in that limelight and they can't pick and choose when to be sort of in it. If they've put themselves in it, that's pretty much where we're going to keep them until we feel that they no longer need to be there. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Sammy. I'm not going to sit here and say that Sammy did this or Sammy did that, because I don't have to. I just have to recollect what Sammy herself has said, and see whether that we feel has influenced the way that this case has gone so far. Because, let's put it this way, Placer should have found Kiely when they searched. They were sort of saying how many thousand man-hours they'd put into the search. And I kind of think to myself, yeah, but did you? Did you? Because what it seems to me, and I don't know whether I'm alone or whether you guys think the same thing, but to me, it seemed as if the Sheriff's Department, they had very quickly sort of decided that this was an abduction. And I think to myself, why did you come to that conclusion so quick? Is it because there's loads of abductions around where you are? Is it because these parties are held frequently and people get abducted from them? Or is it because your decision was influenced by the things that you were told by the people who attended the party and was around Kiely? Because, friends know what their friends are like, don't they? If your friend tells the mum that they're not a drinker, they won't drink and drive, they don't touch drink, they don't touch drugs, they don't do any of that. But then when their mums and dads aren't around, they're a bit naughty. You'd think that if they were to go missing, that a true friend may turn around and say to their mum, look, Kiely's not quite as good behind your back as she is with us, and there is a potential that she's got in a car, she's had a bit too much to drink, and she's gone off, and I'm concerned that she might have crashed somewhere. She might have hit a tree, she might have gone off into the woods, she may have herself gone into the water, because I'm pretty sure that, like myself, I'm sure that the vast majority of people out there were thinking, she's gone in the water. We can't find the car, the girl's gone, there's a party, they're surrounded by water, she's gone in the water. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me down below if that had not crossed your mind. Not crossed your mind at all. But look, her friends, Sammy specifically, had said, look, she weren't going to drive. She couldn't drive. She wouldn't have got very far. This is a statement from her. So she's flat out saying that she weren't going to be driving. So she's convinced the PD that, look, she's not gone in the car. So what else does that leave? If this girl hasn't got drunk and got in a car and driven, she's perhaps got in a situation where she's had a few too much to drink and someone's taken advantage of the situation. I just feel that Sammy has influenced how this case has gone, and I feel that some of the things that she said just don't hold up to me. Like, she turned around and said that she had spoken to Kiely at around 12:36, and that call, 1 minute it was Kiely contacting her, and then later on she said she was the last person to contact Kiely. And you think to yourself, well, for a start, how do you know you was the last person to contact her? It's a bit of a strange thing to say, but you can read too much into it. I'm not saying that we don't take something and run a mile with it. I know it happens. But when a girl has gone missing and subsequently been found in the position that Kiely was found in, and we're listening to what her so-called friends have said about her, some things you are going to read into because they paint a specific picture. And this picture that was painted by her friends was that Kiely was inebriated. She was in a situation where she wouldn't have been able to drive. She wouldn't have got very far. She would have had a crash. So, are we now saying that Kiely drove her car round to where it was and entered that water while off her face, so drunk she could hardly walk or talk? Is that what we're saying? Now, with regards to law enforcement, why did they not find her? Again, why is it that we can sit on this platform and say, we thought she's gone in the water? You've got a party, you've got drink, you've got whatever. Her friends have turned around and said that she was drinking, she was in a bad way. She's gone in the friggin' water. Why have law enforcement not looked for tyre tracks of vehicles? Why have they not gone round there with a fine-tooth comb and all these thousands of hours that they spent scanning routes that could be travelled from them campgrounds and followed them out to where the water meets these tracks? Because it's not like she went off-roading through the trees and made her own path. She followed a track out from where they were parked that took her down to the water's edge. So thousands and thousands of hours spent looking somewhere else. And again, I just wonder whether it's not that they spent these thousands of hours looking. I just wonder whether the likes of Sammy just influenced the police department that much that they weren't looking for a vehicle. They weren't looking for Kiely. They were looking for evidence to support what these friends had pushed as a narrative, and that was who would be the likely perpetrator in a kidnapping. You tell me. You tell me. Make it make sense. And I'll catch you all in the next one.